Welcome, everybody, to the greatest fantasy hockey podcast in the world that focuses on streaming for the upcoming week. I'm your host, Elon Dubrovsky, guest host for this week. Dave isn't able to do a show this week, but we thought we'd get one out here. We're not going to be talking about your Connor McDavids or your Alex Barkovs on this episode. No, sir-ree, Bob. This is the show where we look at the dark depths, the players that the other podcasts are too afraid to talk about. That's why this is the Stream Scheme. We're going to be focusing on players who are low percent rostered on Yahoo that have good schedules next week that you'll be able to add to do well in your head-to-head matchups. Because, of course, if you've got 4 moves and if you take a look and you've got a couple players on your team that you're going to have on your bench or that aren't going to play, then why do you have them on your team? If they're not even that great, drop them, pick up these streamers that I'm going to be recommending, and that could be your ticket to success in your matchup next week. So, this, like I said, this is Elon. Okay, I've never done this before. I'm taking over for Dave. I'm going to try my best to keep the Stream Scheme spirit, but of course I'll be doing this my own way. I'm just not going to try to do a total clone of what Dave does. But I'm going to get started here by looking at the picks from last week because the Stream Scheme is all about accountability. Of course, last week was like a weird week for the Stream Scheme. Dave basically just decided to say, look at New Jersey and look at Seattle, because those were the teams that had the best schedule of the week, both playing Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so all off-day schedules. I'm recording this on Saturday, so we don't have the Sunday results yet. Looking at New Jersey and the players that you may have streamed in, Dave definitely mentioned Erik Haula, who was playing with Jack Hughes. Not too much. I mean, it's only been 2 games, right? No points in the first game. He got an assist in the second game on Friday versus Pittsburgh. So probably a loss, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. And then, of course, Thomas Tatar was the other name who's been playing with Nico Hischier. And Tatar had an assist in the first game and then nothing in the second game. So it's a real neck-and-neck battle. Dave and I actually made a bet on the Keeping Karlsson Discord about who's going to get more points between Tatar and Haula. It's going to come down to this game versus Carolina on Sunday, January 1st. Oh, yeah, did I mention Happy New Year? Happy New Year, everyone. There's actually fireworks going on outside my window right now. I have a pretty decent microphone, so you might not be able to hear it. But trust me, I can. That's why I might get a little bit distracted. I think Dave also mentioned Jonas Siegenthaler as a streamer, and he actually did have an assist versus Pittsburgh in the 4-2 win. So, I don't know, and 3 blocks. So if you added him, that's pretty good. As far as if you should hold these guys, for next week, look, New Jersey plays next week 3 times on Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So I don't know if I'd be holding on to a New Jersey streamer and wait till Wednesday, right? You could drop that player, get a guy who plays Monday and or Tuesday, then maybe you could always grab that New Jersey streamer back, because at the end of the day, you probably do want a guy playing with Hughes or playing with Hischier, depending on how deep your league is. So in the last game, it was Dawson Mercer back on the line with Hughes and Haula. So now Dawson Mercer becomes someone that probably should have been recommended. Maybe he was. He did have 2 assists versus Pittsburgh. So he's someone that I'd be interested in. Then Haula, and then with Hischier, he's playing with Bratt and Tatar. So Tatar would be your streamer level guy there. And so, yeah, again, those are the 3 names as far as the forwards go that I'd be into. And then for defense, I mean, you're definitely not going to be holding on to any of these defense that you would have streamed in. And even those forwards, I would say you could probably drop. Okay, going over to Seattle now. So who did Dave mention? I'll just go through basically a lot of these players are streamer level, right? Probably Burakovsky is rostered in your league and maybe Beniers. After that, a lot of these guys are available. Jared McCann did nothing in those 2 days. That's a bummer. I've got him on my couple team. Jordan Eberle had 2 assists versus Calgary and then nothing versus Edmonton in that game where Seattle got whooped. Philip Grubauer got pulled. You know, I actually have a policy for Cupful where anytime anyone asks, should I play my goalie? In our Keeping Karlsson, we have a sit-start channel where people post their questions. And for Cupful, I'm we don't penalize goalies too badly. They'd have to do pretty badly in order to get a negative. I'm at the point now where I'm still for Philip Grubauer going to say to probably just not play. You shouldn't stream him in, even if Seattle has a good schedule. He's really a scary roster, I think. And obviously, every once in a while, he does have a good game, but he's just not someone I'm into. Anyways, Jordan Eberle, I would hold him. And McCann, actually. Seattle's schedule next week is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Tuesday, I'm going to get to the schedules, but Tuesday is a busy day, so you might not be able to fit them in. So I guess if it's a shallower league, you could drop these guys, but I still think that McCann and Eberle are pretty decent threats, though it's a bummer that McCann did nothing. Eberle, like I said, had a couple assists versus Calgary. Then who else did he mention? Probably Bjorkstrand. He threw out there. No points in the 2 games overall. Like pretty disappointing. Right? Jaden Schwartz, no points. If you streamed him in Yanni Gourde, no points. So, yeah, you're not really doing much. I've seen Vince Dunn now even dropped in a couple of my leagues. He did pick up an assist versus Edmonton. So, okay, there's your rundown for last week. Let's look at the schedules now for the upcoming week. So, these are the teams you're going to want to target, okay? So, the best schedules for the week. Well, number 1 definitely is going to go to the Anaheim Ducks because they have a game on Monday, and then they have a game on Wednesday, and then they have a game on Friday, and then they have a game on Sunday, and they are all light days. So that means it's a streamagami. And I don't have the sound clip to play here, so I'll just go. So basically, you're going to add an Anaheim guy. You're going to get all 4 of his games for sure. Like Sunday is kind of a busy day. There's 16 teams playing, but that's still like half the league, right? So I think you'll be able to fit in your Anaheim guy there. So whoever you drop, you're guaranteed to get 4 games. And so I'm going to get to some streamers from Anaheim definitely on this show. The next best schedule of the week, that's going to go to the Boston Bruins, who play 4 times and 3 of them on the light days. So actually, let me just pause here. Tuesday and Thursday are your busy days this week, okay? Tuesday, there's 22 teams playing. Thursday, there's 20. Monday and Wednesday, there's barely any. And then Saturday and Sunday, we've got 18 and 16. So I'm counting Saturday as a light day, even though it's generally a busy day. And I know I said Thursday is busy. So again, Thursday, there's 20 teams playing. Saturday, there's 18. I think like 20 and higher is my threshold. But obviously, you got to check in your league, right? If you have an open spot, it's easy to check, right? Like this isn't very difficult. You go set your if you're on Yahoo, press that button to set your lineups for the week. Then go through each day. I do this every week. Go through each day and see for each day. First of all, do you have players on the bench who are playing? Because that stinks. On any days that you have that's definitely a player that you change it up so that you have your worst player, that's the one on the bench, and then you drop that player for a streamer, like for an Anaheim guy, for example, you'll get 4 games for sure. And then, you look for each day and see where you have openings. You'll know, Thursday I could fit just a defense, and Saturday I could fit either a right wing or a left wing, but not a center. So you figure that out, and that's going to help you decide who you're going to want to stream. But I'm calling just Tuesday and Thursday the busy days of this week. And so Boston plays 4 times. Unlike Anaheim, they do play on one of the busy days on Thursday, but aside from that, it's Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So maybe you don't stream in your Boston guy right away if you think you can wait. They play Monday, then not again until Thursday, which is busy. So maybe you just wait for the weekend and then add the Saturday, Sunday game. So it depends on how much you're into the players that I'm going to be recommending from Boston, but I am going to definitely mention Boston. So those are the 2 best schedules of the week. Other good schedules are kind of split into 2 categories, okay? So we've got a few teams that play 4 times with 2 of them on busy days and 2 of them on light days. So that would be Arizona, Columbus, St. Louis, Toronto, and Washington. And then we've got a couple teams who play 3 times, but all on light days. You're almost for sure going to get all of their games, and those are Detroit and Minnesota. So kind of pick your poison there. It might be the case that you'll get more games out of your Minnesota or Detroit stream than one of those other teams that I mentioned that plays 4 times, except that includes Tuesday and Thursday. And if you don't have room for that player, then really you're only going to be getting 2 games. So I'll mention some players from each of those teams. So with that, I guess it's probably time to get to the streamers, right? I guess I'll say who the worst team schedules are. So Buffalo only plays 2 times. This team that scores 1 million goals every time they play. They play just Tuesday and then not again until Saturday. So maybe if, again, check. If you have room to keep whatever Buffalo player you have for Tuesday and that you'll actually get a game out of that player, then you might as well keep them. But then definitely it's going to be tough to hold all the way until Saturday. So obviously you're going to be keeping Tage, Tuck, Skinner. That's no question. You're probably keeping Dylan Cousins. He just had a huge game against Boston with a goal and an assist. I don't think I could recommend dropping him even for a 2-game week. Did I mention Dahlin? Okay, obviously you're keeping Dahlin. I mean, that's no question also. Aside from that, I think it's a little tough. Like Owen Power, you can probably drop. You might have room for him on the Tuesday, but after that, let him go. Olofsson, Jack Quinn, Middlestat, Paterka. Any of these types of guys you could drop. Because the Buffalo has that terrible schedule. Then we have the Ottawa Senators, also 2 games, also Tuesday and Saturday. So I know that Shane Pinto was someone that Dave has recommended at times when Ottawa had a good schedule. And Pinto's actually been pretty decent. It's actually been a pretty decent time to get Pinto, unlike when I used to have him on my couple team and he did absolutely nothing. He had an assist versus Washington earlier this week. Nothing against Detroit today on Saturday. Couldn't get past Magnus Hellberg, Keeper Carlson patrons know I'm a bit of a fan of since I added him in my Dynasty League. Jake Sanderson is someone that you may be holding that you can maybe drop, obviously depending on how hard it is to get D in your league. But yeah, obviously you're holding Kachuk, DeBrincat, Giroux, Stützle, Batherson. Josh Norris is probably just in your IR. So you're holding all those guys and you're probably dropping everyone else. Shabbat, obviously you're holding too. And probably you're holding Cam Talbot in net. Okay, so then another bad schedule are the San Jose Sharks, and they don't even play Tuesday. They don't play till Friday. They just go Friday and Saturday. So it gets tough, right? Because I actually really like Barabanov. He's been having a good season. He's been getting good deployment. He scored today in this 5-2 loss to Dallas. So I don't know. I'm probably going to hold him in a couple just because my team isn't that good and it's hard. And like if you look at the deployment on San Jose, Barabanov is like playing with the top guys. He's been playing with Meyer and Couture. Pretty wild that they split up, by the way, Meyer and Hurdle. I thought that was like a really solid pairing. But anyways, in today's game, they went with Meyer, Couture, and Barabanov. And then Barabanov's also on the top power play with Couture, Hurdle, Meyer, and Erik Karlsson. So yeah, he's a tough drop for me. He's only 5% rostered, so maybe I'm clearly alone here. But aside from him, who's the question mark, you're holding Couture, Hurdle, Karlsson, Meyer, and then definitely dropping anyone else, including the goalie. Well, maybe you hold Reimer. I don't know. It depends again on how deep your league is. Okay, so those are the worst schedules and the best schedules of the week. I guess we'll take a break, and then when I get back, I'm going to be giving you my streaming picks for the week. So stay tuned. Okay, we are back, and it is time for me to give you my streamer picks of the week. So I'm only going to be picking players from those teams that I mentioned that have really good schedules this week. Anaheim, Arizona, Boston, Detroit, Minnesota, and then St. Louis, Toronto, and Washington. Okay, so I've gone through, and I'm trying my best to do... Most of my picks are going to be players who are less than 10% rostered on Yahoo. A couple of them I went up to 15% because I just felt like I had no choice. Obviously, it depends how deep your league is. I know Dave sometimes goes up to 25, but, I mean, come on, like... How many times can I say that David Krejci should be rostered, right? I think I've said it on the last few podcasts. He's only 24% rostered on Boston. Obviously, you want David Krejci if he's available. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper here for these picks. I've got for you 6 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. And I'll mention some other players along the way. But my top forward streamer of the week is one of these 15% guys. And I have no choice. Okay, Toronto plays 4 times, and yeah, it's only 2 light days and 2 busy days, but I think you might want to make room for this guy even on your busy days at this point, and that is Calle Jarnkrok of the Leafs. He's only 15% roster. That's going up. Maybe by the time you listen to this episode, it's going to be 20 because Jarnkrok is on fuego. He's been playing on this line with Tavares and Mitch Marner, and he's getting points just game in and game out. In his last 9 games, he's got at least a point in 8 of them. He's currently riding a 5-game point streak after his assist today versus Colorado. Before that, he had 3 games in a row with a goal versus Arizona, St. Louis, where he also had 2 assists, and Philly. Like, just Calle Jarnkrok is in an amazing spot, and it's like Leafs have tried so many players playing on that second line with Tavares, and it never works out with Kerfoot, with Robertson, whatever. Okay, at this point, Jarnkrok, and I talked about him when I did that short shifts episode, also solo. This is a new thing for me, doing these solo episodes. Anyways, at this point, you want him, okay? Yeah, he's not on the top power play, but these are streamers, right? But you're going to get 4 games out of Calle Jarnkrok. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. You look at the teams that Toronto's playing. St. Louis, okay, you get Binnington, who could always blow up. Seattle, hopefully Grubauer, but Martin Jones also. Then Detroit on Saturday, and then Philly on Sunday. So not only is it a decent schedule, but it's against teams that you could expect Toronto to score a lot of goals against. So it's just... just trust me. Grab Calle Jarnkrok if you can. He's my number 1 streamer. Okay. Number 2... forward streamer of the week. I'm going to go to Washington, a 12%er, and that's Connor Sherry. And it's like pretty easy here. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Okay. I'm not going to like go to Lars Eller on Washington, who I know is a favorite of Dave's. I mean, why should I? Like, I guess if I was doing a ludicrous streamer, but at this point, why not just get a guy playing on the top line with Alex Ovechkin? It's been Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Connor Sherry. And Sherry just continues to produce. I don't know why he's rostered so low. And actually, I contributed to it. I had him and I dropped him because I wanted to get more games played from someone else. And it was dumb because fewer games from Sherry would have been better. You got 2 assists today in the crazy 9-2 win over Montreal on Saturday. Before that, he had an assist versus Ottawa, goal and assist versus the Rangers, couple assists versus Winnipeg. This guy's hot. He's got points in his last 4 games. A couple of them multi-point. 3 of them are multi-point games. He's on the top line. Washington plays 4 times, like I said, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So, that's a very easy pick for me. So Connor Sherry is my second streamer of the week. Next up, obviously, I've got to go to the Ducks. And the Ducks don't score a lot of goals, but they do have one line that is like pretty good. And that's their top line with Zegras, Troy Terry. And for a while now, it's been Adam Henrique. And Henrique only 7% rostered on Yahoo. So he's going to be my third streamer pick of the week. Again, it's like I'm not doing anything too complicated here. I'm looking at the lines and I'm also looking at the production, and Henrique has it. He didn't get any points in the 6-1 loss today to Nashville. Hardly anyone did. That's the problem with Anaheim, right? Even their stars, like Zegras has like no point games, and even like sometimes games with no shots because just Anaheim is a tough team. But Henrique did have a big game versus Vegas in the 3-2 win. He scored 2 goals. Then before that, he was pointless in 3. So yeah, it's definitely not a sure thing, but you're getting 4 games out of this guy, guaranteed. So I think he's going to get points in at least 2 of them. I'm expecting 2 points. If you get lucky, he'll get 3, maybe even a multi-point game in there because he's on the top line. He's also on the top power play, I should mention, with Zegras, Terry, McTavish, and Cam Fowler. So McTavish is another guy you can grab. He's not on as good of a line at even strength, but he's definitely someone also that if you're in a deep league and you're trying to get 4 games out of someone, with the Streamagami, McTavish, that's like an honorable mention. But yeah, my next pick officially is going to be Adam Henrique. Okay, next up, I'm going to go to Boston, who, like I said, they play 4 times. 3 of them on the light days, so the second best schedule of the week after Anaheim. And I'm not, like I said, going to take the easy route and take David Krejci because, he's only 24% roster, but I'm sure in all serious leagues he's taken because he's playing on a line centering David Pastrnak, and that means you're going to get points. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to recommend Bergeron or Marchand or DeBrusk on the top line, but there is another top sixer that isn't rostered in that many leagues, and that is Pavel Zacha, who's been playing with Krejci and Pastrnak on that second line, only 4% rostered, and Zacha has started to heat up from that spot. He's now riding a 4-game point streak after his assist today versus Buffalo. He gets second power play time. Not that he's needed it. He hasn't had any power play points, but just an even strength playing with Pastrnak and Krejci is enough for Zacha to put up points. And on a week where you might be able to get 4 games, but you'll at least be able to get 3 games for sure because it's 3 light days. And the busy day is a 20-day game on Thursday. 20 teams are playing on Thursday, I should say. So there's even a decent chance you'll be able to fit Zacha in on Thursday in a lot of leagues. So I'm pretty happy with that pick. I think so far my picks are pretty fire. Like I'm pretty sure I have a decent chance to go well above the 50% threshold with Sherry, Järnkrok, Henrique, and now Pavel Zacha. So 2 more forwards to go. I'm going to go to Detroit now. Like I said, Detroit plays only 3 times, but they are on light days, okay? Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So maybe if you could be sneaky and wait until Wednesday to make this ad, that's even better. Grab someone who plays Monday or Tuesday. There's actually no teams that play Monday and Tuesday this week. Sometimes you find one of those. But no, so you could grab, if you have enough ads, grab a Monday, then drop that, grab Zacha Monday, then drop him, then grab Järnkrok Tuesday, then you're going to hold on to Järnkrok actually. So then you'll have to drop someone else to go get this guy on Wednesday from Detroit. And my pick is going to be, I think people are going to be able to guess. The whole episode, I'm not going to do anything too crazy, okay? So I'm going to the top line on Detroit, and there is a guy named Michael Rasmussen who's been playing lately with Larkin and Perron, and Rasmussen has also been getting top power play with Larkin, Perron, Raymond, and Moritz Seider. So, of course, I'm going to recommend him, and he's hot also. 7 points in his last 5 games. You know what? I'm like scooping the episode of like the mega show of Keeping Karlsson that I'm going to be recording tomorrow with Brian, because I'm going to definitely be talking about a lot of these guys. Of course, I'm going to bring up Michael Rasmussen, but let me bring him up first as a streamer. He is only 8% rostered. He's got 7 points in his last 5 games after scoring a goal today versus Ottawa in the Magnus Hellberg's big win, 4-2. So Rasmussen is just what you're looking for. Just like everyone else I've mentioned so far. Top liners, rostered in less than 10% of leagues. Thank you very much. I'm going to win my week now. 3 light days. So Michael Rasmussen. Okay, then my last forward streamer is going to be a ludicrous streamer. This is someone who's rostered in 0% of leagues. So this is really going into the dark depths here. I could have gone for some easier guys, but I know that Dave throws in some ludicrous streamers. I'm not splitting into a different section. I'm just going to include him right here. And that is Emil Bemstrom. over on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So once again, Columbus is playing 4 times, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So maybe you're going to wait till later in the week, depending on if you can fit him in on Tuesday or Thursday. But if you look at the Blue Jackets lines, Bemstrom in the last game was playing with Nyquist and Jack Roslovic. He's someone, he was like injured and he was in the minors. So this is a risky pick, right? Because he could maybe get sent back down. But he's played 2 games and he scored 2 goals. And in this game today versus Chicago, Bemstrom had 6 shots and the goal was a power play goal. And he was on the top power play. So it's not exactly a top liner. He wasn't playing with Gaudreau. It was actually Kirill Marchenko and Kent Johnson playing with Gaudreau. So those are probably actually smarter streamer picks. I'm just having fun with this one. If it was me streaming in a player from Columbus, I might go Kent Johnson or Kirill Marchenko. But you know what? Bemstrom, if he's on that top power play with Gaudreau, that's still pretty good. And he's the one who's riding the hot stick there. So that's going to be my official pick over from Columbus for the forwards. Honorable mention. This is a pick I just don't want to make because I just talk about it too much. And again, I think this is someone that should already be rostered, even though he's actually only he's like rostered in not that many leagues. I'm going to go over to Minnesota. So my honorable mention here, only 8% rostered. Or let me throw him in. This is a 7th streamer. I could do what I want, right? Okay, Sam Steele. Okay, he's still on the top line, centering Kaprizov and Zuccarello. I don't know why he doesn't go up. I guess he's a pretty empty in terms of he's not giving you periffs, he's not giving you many shots, but he gets assists, right? If Minnesota is playing 3 times next week on 3 light days, you're probably gonna get either 2 or 3 assists. But of course, Minnesota's schedule isn't that amazing. It's Wednesday, then Saturday, Sunday. So I'm definitely not going to rush to grab Steele on Wednesday if he's out there. But for the weekend, if you want a weekend stream and you have room on Saturday and Sunday, he's a guy. So, okay, he won't be my official guy. Leave him out. But I'm surprised that he's only rostered in 8% of leagues. Okay, so those are my forwards. Then for defensemen, I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to go back to Anaheim. I don't even like this pick, okay? To be honest, I know Dave does this sometimes. Cam Fowler is a top power play defenseman on a team that plays 4 times. So what are you going to do, right? You should probably roster him. He's been cold lately. He's probably going to lose the spot at some point to Klingberg, who is rostered in more leagues. Maybe I'd even take the shot on Klingberg over Fowler since Klingberg has been shooting more. So Klingberg's rostered in more leagues, but if both are available for you, I might even lean Klingberg here. But since I'm trying to keep myself to under a certain threshold, Fowler's only 14% rostered. So he's my first defensive streamer. Then I'm going to go to Arizona, who, like I said, play 4 times. By the way, for defense, probably you could fit them in even on the busy days, right? That's usually how it goes, at least for my leagues, where I only have 4D rostered at most times in Cupful. I'm going to go to Arizona, and let's just grab JJ Moser here, who's sort of hit or miss, but that's what you're going to expect from a defensive streamer. But he gets power play time. He's only rostered in 6% of leagues. And Moser did score goals in 2 straight games versus Colorado and Toronto before going pointless today in the loss to Tampa Bay. He plays decent minutes. Like I said, a second unit power play. So if you need a defenseman for the week that plays 4 times, JJ Moser. And then this is going to be another off-the-wall one here, just like my Bemstrom pick. But I just, again, have a bit of a hunch. There's a guy on Detroit who's kind of come out of nowhere and has been pretty interesting. And his name is Jake Walman. He's been playing on a pairing with Moritz Seider. I guess you should call that the top pairing, right? I'd imagine. I guess I haven't been watching Detroit games. But he's been playing with Seider. He's been taking 3 or 2 shots in every game over the past couple of weeks, and he now has points. I'm talking about Jake Walman. 2 points in his last 3 games. He had an assist today in Detroit's win over Ottawa. He even saw some power play time, 35% of the team's power play time. So I don't know anything really about this guy. Maybe I'll ask Brian about him tomorrow on the Mega Show. Who is this Jake Walman? But I think that he's someone that, he had more power play time than Filip Hronek, it's looking like. So, okay, he's interesting to me. So he's going to be my last defensive streamer. Again, Detroit only plays 3 times, but it's on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So especially if you could wait till Wednesday morning, and then you could get 3 games in 4 days. So that's another ludicrous streamer for you. And then I'm going to end with a goalie streamer. My policy for goalie streamers is I'm recommending a goalie that you're going to get games out of, right? And they're not going to be terrible. So I'm not going to recommend Philip Grubauer, even however many games you would get, even though he's probably available in a lot of leagues, as he should be. I don't mean to turn this into a Philip Grubauer hate podcast, but no, I see a goalie that's on a team that, could get shaky, but I could see him playing 3 out of his team's 4 games because he's been hot lately and he's taken over the starting job and he's still only rostered in 8% of leagues. So I'm going back to Columbus and going to recommend Emil Bemstrom's teammate, Joonas Korpisalo, who just came off a big win today in the 4-1 win over Chicago, where he made 27 saves. He also only let in 2 out of 36 shots in his previous game versus the Islanders. So Korpisalo has been looking pretty good, and we all know that Elvis Merzlikins has not. And Columbus plays, they play Ottawa on Tuesday. I mean, no team is going to be easy for Columbus. We have to go Ottawa, then Washington, then Carolina, then Washington. Actually, okay, so those are all actually pretty tough games, and Ovechkin might put up another hat trick for all we know. But I'm trying to give you a goalie that's actually going to play, not just a backup. And at 8%, maybe worth a stream if it's a super deep league and it's hard to get goalies. So once again, to recap my picks for the week, we've got Connor Sherry, Calle Jarnkrok, Adam Henrique, Pavel Zacha, Michael Rasmussen, Emil Bemstrom. Those are the forwards. Then Cam Fowler, Jake Wallman, JJ Moser. So this is no particular order for the defensemen. And then Joonas Korpisalo for the goalies. I hope you enjoyed this special edition of the Stream Scheme hosted by myself, Elon Dubrovsky. Hopefully Dave will be back with an episode for you next week. But until then, okay, I've actually always thought to myself, I should look up who is this Moose Vasco person that Dave always quotes at the end of the episode. And I just never did. So I might as well do it now. So there's a guy named Elmer Vasco whose nickname was Moose. I'm just on Wikipedia right now. And he was a player, was a Canadian professional ice hockey defenseman, played 13 seasons in the National Hockey League for Chicago, Minnesota. Why is Dave quoting Moose Vasco? Is there something about him I should know? He was an all-star a couple times, second-team all-star, 1962, 63, 1963, 64. I don't know. Well, apparently, as the late, great Moose Vasco once said, the future belongs to those who believe in their stream. See ya!